What's up guys, Chief here with another video where we learn how to play Starcraft 2. Today I want to talk about sentries and how freaking awesome they are, right? Sentries are really good, really strong, and really effective units to use in the early and mid game, even late game. They can really make or break a fight, and if you know how to micro them and just use them properly, it can make a huge difference in your Protoss play. I've been doing a lot of queues into like random 2v2 and random 3v3 games where I just get, you know, whoever. And I've been noticing, not that it's a bad thing, it's just been kind of a theme I've been noticing, that people are not really favoring sentries in their gateway compositions, and they're definitely not using the abilities of their sentries effectively if they do have them. So I just kind of wanted to make a little bit of a video to go over why sentries are so important and why they're so awesome. So if we look at a sentry, and we know it has 3 abilities, right? Guardian Shield is one that a lot of people kind of just take for granted, but if you don't really understand what it does, it reduces the damage, any incoming damage of units under that bubble by 2. All right, a Marine does 6 damage without any upgrades. So that's cutting 1/3 of the damage off of Marines. They only do 2/3 damage. That's not even including if you already have armor upgrades, which a lot of Protoss like to favor armor upgrades first. You stack underneath that Guardian Shell. Marines are just not going to do any damage. They're gonna take forever, especially if you clip your Zealots with that Guardian Shell. They're still up underneath it. It can make a huge difference. So it's pretty important to just spread out a couple and take two or three, depending on how big your army is, and try to cover your army with that Guardian Shield. That can be important. So the most basic use of sentries that you guys might see is just using that Guardian Shell and keeping your army under it, right? That's great. That's great. But alternatively, if you want to take it one step further with your unit micro, you can add in some clever force field usage. Now, sometimes if you use force fields and you're just trying to use them, it can actually make things worse for you. So just be careful, but if you learn what situations are really good to use force fields for, you can make a really big difference in an attack you probably have no business winning, right? It's like, you know, 700 Zerglings versus 20 Protoss units, but if you can set up decent force fields and create either a choke point, block a ramp, whatever, use your terrain to your advantage, you can really sway the battle. So I just wanted to kind of talk about that, show a little bit of an example. I don't have that many good examples, and I wish I did. I've been kind of not playing Protoss lately, so I don't really have a good example of super clever force fields, other than, you know, for example, if you're pushing a Zerg's natural base, natural expansion, at that, you know, like 6 or 7 minutes into the game, 7 or 8 minutes, and you're attacking his natural, and you just force field on his ramp, so his units from his main can't get out, you can almost win. I mean, if you can do enough damage to kill that hatchery or kill off a bunch of drones, what's he gonna do? I mean, he can't get out. He's not gonna have mutas, probably. What's he gonna do? It's so annoying. Let me tell you from a Zerg perspective that it sucks. It sucks. It makes you want to just burn things. Burn things. That's what I want to do. I don't know. Maybe that's me. Maybe I should talk to somebody about that. But regardless, this is another example that I like a lot. And because I'm a Zerg player, I know what's really annoying when Protoss plays against a Zerg and they use force fields. I know what's annoying because it's been done to me 100 times, and it makes me angry. So this is an example. Let's look at this fight. We're coming up here. Let's go a little bit farther. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is a lot of banelings. We have bio and gateway units. Not the best. This, like, I mean, banelings aren't that effective against Protoss, but if they get over to this little guy right here, bad times, boys. Bad times are coming, right? So all I decided in this situation, and I panicked, right? I didn't know these were here. I was just like, oh no. Oh no. Baby Jesus. So I decided that I wanted to make some force fields and delay the banelings, right? So we kind of want to make a wall so they can't just face check us and kill our whole army. So we'll see that here. Yeah, it's kind of working out, making them wrap. Could have been better, but it also could have went a lot worse, right? Like this, as you can see, this fight ends up going really, really well for us. Really, really nice. And we don't need to talk about what happens down here. But again, if we just rewind a little bit back to where that engagement started. And if we try to think about what could have happened without force fields here. So we get to right here. If we would have just kind of A-clicked and been like, all right, well, it's out of my control. We'll see what happens. This could have been really bad, right? This would have certainly killed this off. And I don't know exactly how many banelings would have been left over to move into this bio, but as you guys know, banelings love to munch on some marines. So that would have been a really, really sad time for Mr. Bioterran over here. So just a little bit of an example of where a couple good force fields, and I have a lot of sentries, so I kind of was throwing out force fields like nobody's business, right? But if you just have a couple and you can create sort of a choke point, like as you can see here, what I kind of tried to do was make them funnel through here, and then for some reason I blocked it anyway. So then they had to come back around, and I kind of just wanted to keep them off of my units and funnel them into the DPS that was sitting over here, right? So it worked out pretty well. I kind of got lucky, I think. Yeah, pretty fancy. Nothing crazy, but just pretty basic force fields. And if I would have known that we had some more bio down here, another great thing to do is split up bio or split up Roach Hydra. If you're fighting an army with a bunch of ground, if you put a force field right on top of their units, most of you know it pushes them away, right? It pushes their units away. So you can effectively split their army with a nice line of force fields, and then they're cut in half, or you kind of peel off a chunk that you can easily DPS down, especially if you have Colossi in your army and you force field a nice little arc and then pull units towards you. You take off a nice little bite of their army and then just melt it with your Colossi. So just little things I wanted to talk about with force fields. Really good against Zerglings. Really early Zerg. If they're favoring a ton of Zerglings, you know, they munch Stalkers. And it's really just a bad time unless you have a ton of Zealots. So if you find yourself in a situation where you don't have enough Zealots to deal with the Zerglings he's throwing at you, lay some force fields around your army to reduce its surface area. So create a ring around your army so Zerglings can't hit you as much. They can't get a surround. That's another really good thing that I like to do. And I'm going to try to find some more replays of my games where I've had some okay force fields. But I just wanted to, for the sake of the daily video, show an example and just kind of talk about how important sentries can be. So that's really it, guys. The force fields, make sure you use the Guardian Shell. You really want to try to get the sentries out a little early so they can build up energy. Because if you just spawn them, they can do a force field right away, but that's it. You ideally want them to have a little bit more energy. They can't do a Guardian Shield right when they spawn. They need to wait for 25 more. So spawn them before you actually have to go fight if you can. Remember to hallucinate some Phoenixes out for great scouting, free scouting, fast scouting, and use them, guys. Don't forget about them. Put them in your armies. Don't go too heavy on Stalker and Zealot. That's a common mistake that I see a lot. You do want to always remember to get sentries. They're really important and they're pretty good. So thanks a lot, guys. If you have any other suggestions for videos, comments, criticism, please leave them below. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time, and have a great day, guys. Take it easy.